All right, good afternoon. I welcome you once again to another beautiful segment. This is Kingdom Radio. I'm here as your host, and we have our presenter today, Ada Jesus, all the way from Spain, and our special guest, Evan, is also going to be here today to tell us more about our identity. This is the program called Arise Upward.
Kingdom Radio, Kingdom Radio, Kingdom Radio, 94.9 FM. Kingdom Radio, Kingdom Radio, Kingdom Radio.
The Bishop
Kingdom Radio, Kingdom Radio. We're giving you the best, we're giving you the very best. Kingdom Radio, Kingdom Radio. We're giving you the best, we're giving you the best. See, anywhere you go, I go over there. Sweetie,
Right now, to introduce for the first time, this is a brand new single release this week. Today is the first time for us to play it at Kingdom Radio 94.9. The special music of our sister here, Minister Ada Jesus. Ada Jesus, that God reigns. So let's introduce it before we bring her up here. And let it be a blessing to those of you that will be following us, supporting us, and encouraging what our Kingdom Radio is doing. May God bless you.
Jesus, you
There's a brand new one of that Jesus, you reign. This is dedicated to everyone that is going to follow us here, and also everyone that is going to follow us up immediately after this program. So I have to bring in right now the minister that will be waiting for Ada Jesus. Ada Jesus, good afternoon. Good afternoon, woman of God.
Good afternoon, sir. God bless you, Pastor Chris, for having me your platform. God bless you for this wonderful program.
You are welcome. And also we have here a special guest all the way from Spain, Minister Minister Evan is here. Thank you so much. And I
Yeah.
would like you guys to tell us a little bit about how today's program is going to look like. Thank you so much, Ada Jesus. May God bless you. And I know that today we are really going to have some knowledge that we have forgotten. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Hello, good afternoon, good day
Hello,
from
good
all over
afternoon.
the
Hello,
world.
hello, good afternoon.
Wherever you're watching from, this is our program. Have you commanded? This is our program, Arise Africa. Arise Africa. Hallelujah. Today we have a special topic that we are going to treat today. And for that, we have our guest, Minister Evans, all the way from Ghana. Minister Franco Evans, all the way from Ghana. Please, can we have our minister in the screen, please?
Yeah, I'm here, please. Can you hear from me, please?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and all those who are here, who are listening to us and hearing us from elsewhere.
You are welcome to our program, Arise Africa. Arise Africa. If this is your first time you are coming in contact with this program, please don't forget to share the program. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Kingdom Radio 94.9 FM. Don't forget, you can also follow us on Instagram, Kingdom Radio 94.9 FM. You can also follow us on a Facebook page where we are streaming live now, Kingdom Radio 94.9 FM. And every Saturday by 3 p.m., we are here live on Arise Africa to give you deep inside Africa, the history of Africa. How much do you know about Africa? How much do you know about the qualities of Africa? How much do you know about the story, the history of Africa? Not the one they wrote for us, but the one from the experience of Africans. In this program, one of the things that we are trying to portray is to see, to hear the story of Africa from the African's perspective, from the African eye, from inside Africa. And today we have a topic which says Africa and their utilities. Hallelujah. Today we have they say of ethnics in Africa and their utilities, the diversity of ethnics. You can see that Africa have millions of diversities of ethnics with great utilities, with great culture, with great aptitudes, and great men, great women that have been impacted in the world, all over the universe. And today, this is what we are going to bring to you today with our special guest, Minister Evans Franco, all the way from Ghana, but residing in Spain. He is the president of Ghana Union, Valencia, Spain. God bless you, sir, and you can proceed. Please, you have 25 minutes to speak. God bless you, sir.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you, Sister Ada, and all those who are in diverse ways who have contributed this program to be effective. Thank you. God bless you. Now let us see something about our own motherland or God-given land named Africa. Africa is a land of people, various people of all utilities and values. But here is a time that we have to wake up to redeem our own good name and show up the qualities, the inborn qualities that God has given us. In fact, I studied science. In Ghana, I studied science, and I studied parts of arts, that is art subjects as well. When I came to Europe, I began to learn more about Africa. And I got to know that Africa, although it's a continent, the second largest continent next to Asia, but now it has grown up to be a nation. So Africa, I term it to be a continent nation. And it is the center of diversification or dispersion or migration of all humanity on earth. According to the studies of ethnic groups, That is what I got to know about Africa. When I went to the library of Valencia, Spain, their biggest library, I got to know a whole lot of secret history that is unknown to Africa. But the fact is, they cannot allow you to take this book along. They don't allow you. Africa has a very deep and old history that the world depends on it, and the world takes out his plans from our history. Let us see something here. Africa is a continent of 55 states in Africa. Yes, 55 countries in Africa. And according to fossils found on Earth, and the geology and the genetical science, Africa is the oldest part of all earthly continents. Listen, Africa is the oldest part of all earthly continents. And again, according to the geological and advanced geographical surveys, all other continents were separated by the sea from Africa. This refers to Genesis chapter 1, verse 9, what God said. That then God said, let the water under the sky be gathered to one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. That was, God called the dry land, the dry grounds, land, and then the gathered waters, the sea. That is what the Bible said. So, Bible references is according to what the geographic or the geographical surveys is saying. Now, as at now, Africa remains to be the only continent of all colors and all diverse ethnics, and all diverse tribes, and all different tribes, languages, and then cultures. From the northern part of Africa to the southern tip of Africa, there exists about 1,000 ethnics and languages of various people. And it is only the African continent, bear in mind, it is the only African continent that holds active all indigenous languages, of which none of them has been died out. Africa is the only continent whose cultures still exist to be old culture as it was. Our languages has not robbed. The ethnics keep on living as their ethnics. They keep on with their languages, and then they practice their cultures. Now, during the civilization of Africa, this dates back from the existence of the early humanity, and from the time of human kingdoms on earth, Africa was having the greatest and the strongest kingdom on earth. Example, let me name the Egyptian kingdom, the Egyptian kingdom, we know that it is from Egypt, of North Africa. The Carthaginian kingdoms, those are the Carthaginian kingdoms of Tunisia and Morocco. They were led by Hanno, and then King Hanno, and then Hannibal. Okay, and then we have the Ghana Empire that was later changed its name to be the Mali Empire that covers greater part of West Africa. Then we have the Abyssinian Empire. Those Abyssinian Empire was the present day Ethiopians. And then we have minor sub-empires, and then we have the Zulu Empire of South Africa. So Africa alone was having about 6 or 8 great empires, apart from minor empires. These empires were having their own system of government. They were people governed by themselves, not by foreigners, not by Europeans, nor by Americans, nor whosoever, nor by Chinese, nor whosoever it will say. But Africa had lost these qualities due to the scramble for Africa. We have lost our potentials. We have given up to them because of the scramble for Africa. Whereas God has blessed us, we denied our own blessing. But now it is time we hold back to our blessing. We go back to take our blessing because we are now servants of God. Africa will be called a Western land, but I don't call Africa to be a Western land. Here in Spain, I do challenge every white man or every person who will say that Africa is a twat. I will challenge you 100%. I will challenge you squarely, because Africa is not a twat. Because the qualities of the land still exist to be the qualities, and the people of that land portray the qualities in them. But we have something that you have to do. The only thing that we have to do is we have to come back to our moral qualities, because you can't serve God and be a twat. Because King David said in what did he say? In Psalm 37, verse 25, he said, I was young and now I'm old, yet have I not seen the righteous. He said, yet have I not seen the righteous sitting on the righteous children sitting on the wayside begging for bread. King David said it. It is in the Bible. He said, I was young, I was old, and now I'm young. That is, during his daytime, his existence, he has not seen the righteous and his descendants sitting at the wayside begging for bread, which means that you can't serve God and be a fool. So if white people call us to be a fools, we have to portray to them, this is the time. We are not fools. We are people of qualities. But what we have to do is we have to attach knowledge. Knowledge, I'm saying it. Let me repeat it, Africans. Listen, we have to attach knowledge to the wisdom that God gave us. Because without knowledge, the wisdom does not function. Let me give you an example. In Africa, in those days, in the early stages of Africa, in the early times of development in the world, there were people like a certain man called Claudio Tomelio. That Claudio Tomelio lived about 2 centuries before Jesus Christ. And that Claudio Tomelio was a mathematician, an astronaut, and a geographer. This man invented many things which the white people did not produce. According to the books in the library that I read here, this man had a certain book that was called The Mathematical Construction. And in that book of mathematical construction, Greeks begin to write down some formulas of mathematics that the Greeks thinkers were using. And this man is an African, eh? He is an African, an Egyptian. He invented many systems of calculation that the Greeks in the olden days were using. Now it has become a modern system of calculation. Now we are having another African called algebra. Algebra, Spanish people call it algebra. This man was a perfect mathematician. He's an Arab, and North African Arab. He's a mathematician who invented the system of using letters and then numbers to calculate. And he created algebraic equation. This algebraic equation in the modern science calculator, it was invented by that guy. Now, who can say that Africans are twat? I will always challenge that people. The blessing of Africa is not only on the land, it is in the people as well. Because you can't serve God and then be a fool. I repeat, you can't serve God and be an outclass. But what we Africans have to do is rise up. The qualities of God are in us. The qualities that God put into us exist in us. So let us wake up. Search for our qualities. That is the wisdom that we have, the talented wisdom, the various wisdom that you have, and then we found out the knowledge that will uprise this wisdom and then attach to it for the wisdom to function. Wisdom, let me say something. Wisdom is something that does not function if knowledge is not attached to it. Let me see something like I'm a footballer. I'm born to be a sportsman. I'm a footballer. I know how to play very well. But if I don't practice, because the practice is the knowledge, if I don't practice, the qualities of sports quality, the kinetic sports qualities exist in me. But if I don't practice, this will die out. But if I practice, this will boom. So this is what Africans are doing. The white people came to our land and then they disqualified us of our qualities. Okay, now let me say something like African countries, about 6 African countries are producing cars. Morocco produces cars. Nigeria produces cars. Safo Kantanka produces cars in Ghana. In East Africa, they produce cars. There are other people who produce cars. They are all Africans who never went to Europe to learn how to produce cars, learn how to make engines. So this shows that there are qualities in us. Out of the 7 qualities, the 7 human different intelligences, we have it all as the white people have it. The neurons in the human head, we have it as the white people have it. So what is the difference between them? The color does not do anything against us. If somebody tells us that we are blacks, so we are hewers of wood and drawers of water, reject it. Reject it, because you have not been cursed by God. You have not been outcast by God. You have not been a downcast before God. You are a servant of God. How can you be a servant of God and be a layout? No, don't accept it. Because this is the time that Africans should rise. We are also servants of God, as the Israelites are. So we have that qualities to demonstrate. We have to demonstrate that qualities. So whoever says that Africa is a downcast, I will never accept it. Look, let me say something about African Americans. The African Americans inventors, there were many. But one thing is that the Americans did not publish what these people invented. Do you know, or can we say that the African Americans there, the black Americans there, did not invent anything? In the year 1877 to 1963, there exists a certain guy called Garrett Morgan. Garrett Morgan is the man who invented traffic light. Garrett Morgan invented traffic light. If you don't know, the traffic light was invented by a black man. Traffic light was invented by a black man. This traffic light, this man invented, he reinvented, he advanced it. And now look, the usages of traffic light now in Europe and now in elsewhere in all parts of the world. Now Valencia in Spain is having as much traffic light as New York. Maybe it might be the second city with the highest number of traffic lights in the world. Now, this man invented traffic light. Another black man invented a lift that's installed in edificios and houses. It was invented by a black. Now, George Mackintosh Cooker was also an inventor. He invented printing ink and cooking oil. He invented it. Now, Benjamin Banneker was not the first person who invented wristwatch, but he invented clock. And when he invented clock, his invention was used even in the American Parliament. A black man. Okay. Now, Frederick M. Jones, he invented refrigerator. They were made, I can list as much as 20 to 30 Americans, black Americans, who invented important things in the world. Whilst they invented these things, Americans, by hatredness or by, let me say, by not by hatredness alone, but by diversification or by hiding the values of blacks, that is racism. By racism, they did not publish these inventions, but they begin to use the inventions. So Africans, we have a lot of things to do. There is one small boy in America called Sergi Hijo, and another boy from Zimbabwe. They have invented any innovation. They have invented a small machine that can control a car. Outside the car, he can control the car, not inside the car. So when he enters the car with a small computer that he has invented, it was not taught that he has invented. This small boy, at an age of 15 years, can control anybody's car. Now, who says that Africans are downcast? Whilst there have been many things done in Africa without the help of the blacks, of the whites. But what we Africans have to know is that the white people do not want the growth of Africa because they are using Africa first as their market. They are using Africa as the extract of their minerals, and then they are afraid of African unity. If Africa unites today and Africa improves as Euros has improved, these people has no food nor economy to live on it. Their economy will fall. In the sense that Africa is the only continent that has many countries to form a central market. We have 55 countries. Even if you start with about 30 countries, as the EEC is making, to form a central market, we shall be the biggest market on earth. Because Asia cannot build that market. Europe cannot build that market. America cannot build that market, but Africa can build that market. So let us see that there are some values and qualities on the land that we improve on it. So if people, if disqualifying Africans, let us stand out bold-chested that, hey, let me tell you, my friend, we are not a downcast. We are people of values. But we have started now to portray our qualities such that in the near future, we shall be what we want to be, and we shall be what God has destined us to be. Because we can't serve God and be fools. We can't serve God and be outclassed. We can't serve God and be downcast. So, dear friends, brothers and sisters, let us stand firm on our 2 feet and then improve on the morals and the qualities that God has given us. And I know, and I'm very firm in my belief, that we shall be somebody in the near future. We shall be somebodies. So we don't have to be people. We don't have to be people that have been disqualified by color, race, or by stages or whatsoever it is. The color is natural. It was God who made it. We have no option on it. We cannot change it. And I would never change my color to be a white. I am born to be a black. I am born a black. And I'm born to be a black. And I'm proud of it. Because it was God's wisdom who made me so. So I cannot blame God for it. Because in the Bible, God said in Genesis 1 that everything that God created was good. So how can I be an outclass? I cannot be an outclass. I am a tailor, and I didn't learn it, but I started young to learn it, and now I've become a master. I'm having my studies here, so I didn't learn it from any black man. Neither did I learn it from any white man. But I could see for myself that there are some qualities in me, as well as other friends, and as well as other people here, that we have to demonstrate, and it will all end in learning. We have to learn more and more and more. Before my word get to an end, what I will say is that Africans should learn more about earthly science, not only human science, but earth science, such that the gift that God has installed in our land can be used by we ourselves. Because remember that if we Africans stop the production of minerals to Europeans, phosphate, diamond, gold, manganese, bauxite, petroleum, and coltan and whatnot to the Europeans, do you remember that these people will fall in their economy because we have given them our minerals? Remember that giving them our minerals, we have given them our work as well. So imagine that the petrol, the minerals that is extracted in Africa is being used in Africa. First, we shall create work for ourselves. But we have given them the minerals, the raw materials we have given them. And so they are using that raw material to create more works. Whereas we could have used it there in Africa. So now let us think. If our forefathers had made that mistake, let us not do that mistake. Let us think that now we have some minerals that have been blessed by God, giving us. God is not giving us this mineral just for giving sake. He is giving us for the services that we are giving, that we have given him. For our own usages, he told the Israelites, I will take you to a land that there will be honey that is flowing with honey and milk. But what is that land? Were there honey and milk? He is talking about the fertility of the land. When they touched that land, it became fertile. It was a desert, but it became fertile. And Israelites do not borrow food, do not buy food from any country. They produce food on their own on their own land. Now, who can say that African land is not fertile? The only virgin land on earth now remains to be Africa. The only land with less pollution The only land that produces good, the only land that has seas that produces good fishes is Africa. Why is it that all countries are not coming to fish in Africa? Let us ask ourselves. Why is it that all superpowers are now coming and are now inviting African countries? For what? Because they have seen some qualities on your land. And God does not bless a land and leave the people. God bless the people, and then he blesses the land for them. So we are blessed. We are not cursed. We are counted as children of God. We are not outcasts. Irrespective of the name of Israel, we are also having a value before God. And so, remember, brothers and sisters, that Africa is a place of diverse qualifications, diverse qualities and utilities. The people are valuable. The people are most useful. The people are, we are rentable to anything that we do. Because let us remember, in the time of the slave trade, they took Africans to the West Indies. They took Africans to the American land for the cultivation of their farms. Had Africans been useless, would they cultivate their land? So now let us remember many things, that we are valuable everywhere that we go. But we should learn something. We should wake up to go back and build our nations one by one. And together, we shall build a good Africa for the glorification of God. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you. God bless you, Mr. Frank, for that wonderful message. Wow, wow, wow. It is really an eye-opener. You know, I used to say that many of us who are, you know, the new generation, we don't really know much about Africa, you know, because we see some people, you know, speak with such grief what the colonialism brought to Africa, and we don't really understand what they mean. But here, listening to you today, I can now feel what the value of Africa, the greatness of Africa. Thank you very much. It is a great privilege having you on the platform, and I know we are still going to see more, because we'll have much more to, you know, to dig out in this African history under this Arise Africa. I have some questions that I would like to ask you because of our audience. You know, okay, based on what you have taught us today, and based on our topic. And remember, we are still on Arise Africa. If you this is the first time you are following, you have come in contact with our program, or you are just passing by, this is a project. It's not only a program, but a project that we have started, you know, to bring up to the Africans, to make the Africans, especially the youths, the African in diaspora, to rise up, to know who they are, to know their quality. Bible says we are peculiarly made. As our guest speaker have said today, God cannot bless a land without blessing people. And every blessing that a human being needs to survive with have been installed in Africa, which means we are the chosen generation. Hallelujah. So it is really interesting to join, to enter this program, to click on this program, so that you will learn many things. I today have learned a lot of things. I don't know that there are many African Americans who invented it. Oh, I'm going to use it anytime any white man.
I'll give you the list. There are many.
The lift you are using
was made by a black
African man. Do you know that? So, you know, apart from we are learning, we are really learning. So, Mr. Franco, I want to ask you, there is something that you have emphasized much on your talk today that I have really picked up. You say that we are, for blessing, we are already blessed. For knowledge, we already have knowledge, because God has bestowed it on us. Wisdom, we have the wisdom because God has bestowed it on us. But you have been emphasizing on let me call it education, because information is education, knowledge is education. No, apart from the natural wisdom, you have told us that if we don't, you know, add studies or knowledge on or education in our natural wisdom, that we cannot be able to, you know, realize it or use it to affect the society or use it to do a greater thing. That is more or less what I picked from what you said today, no?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
my question is now, seeing Africa, because our program says Arise Africa. So what we are looking for is what does Africa need to arise? What does Africa need to pick up his identity again? What does Africa need to pick up what God have deposited in them and begin to put it into materialization? So now, my question is that do you think that one of the African problem is a poor educational system?
Hello, Sister Ada. Now listen. Thank you for your question that you have asked. Africa has studied a lot, but we have deviated. Now let me tell you something. We have to study about what God has given us on our land. We have to learn the usages of what God has given us on our land. Now, I said it shortly, that imagine that bauxite, when you melt bauxite, you extract aluminium. And aluminium is the second metal mostly used in the world. Now, the first metal mostly used in the world is steel. That is, steel is a combination of iron ore and then carbon. Now, fine. We Africans have all these minerals. We have iron ore. Most of the iron ore exists in Mauritania. We have carbon in South Africa. Now, when these two minerals are joined together and bent, it produces steel. And steel is the most important thing in the production of machines. Now, if Africans get to know how to produce steel, and then we produce iron attached to it, and then we begin to use the steel and the iron that we have produced in making cars, in making machineries, in making many, many things, we shall live on our own land as kings. That is, we shan't buy from the Europeans anymore. We shall use our own homeland as our market. And we shall not borrow from anybody, neither shall we lend to anybody, because we are fully equipped. So what we Africans have to do is learn the earthly science, knowing what is installed on your earth, on the ground in which you live. Because in Ghana, there were people living in the villages that have gold on their land. They didn't know. Why? Because they didn't study about the earth on which they are living. They didn't take some of the earth to the laboratory to learn. So these things now we should learn about this modernized science so that you can know the value of the earth, be it rocky earth, be it sandy earth, be it gravels, whatever it is. Learn and know the type of earth on which you live, because it is valuable for your usage. That is why God put you there. So what we have to learn more now is not book knowledge alone, but we learning what we are living on it, the earth science. Because why are Europeans rushing to Africa? Why are Africans rushing to Africa? Why are Chinese rushing to Africa? Why are the Japanese rushing to Africa? Because of our minerals. So let us learn the usage of these minerals, and then we use it ourselves, so that we can sell to them not the raw materials, but the products. And this is why we can be rich, because we have been born rich.
Thank you, sir. God bless you. You are filled with wisdom. God bless you. I repeat again, it is a great privilege having you in this platform. I still have another question for you. You know, talking about Africa, you know, even not minding that we have all these raw materials, all these gifts, natural gifts that God has given us as great nation, as great continent, as great ethnic race or color race. But yet, Africa is regarded as the third world, as the Europeans, call us, which means there is a lot of poverty in Africa. And this poverty affects individuals. citizens. So there are many, like the references you made before. There is a little child who have invented something, a great something. But you see that there are many Africans with such great wisdom, but because of poverty, because of a low economic background, they cannot be able to really bring that thing to use it to affect the society. Now, my question now goes to the politics and the government of Africa. Do you think that government of Africa have a great impact in the poverty of Africa? Because how can Africans have great people, great children with great knowledge, that can make a great impact in the world, have all the natural resources, but yet there is no productivity, there is no human productivity? Because why? There is no government support, there is no financing of projects or unseen projects. When they make budget in a year, you will not see them. Like, for example, in Spain, they are now asking for the 2% of government tax go to investigation, science investigation, ethical investigation, and that makes them go ahead. You understand? But African government, they don't really focus on that. They only focus on looting private editing, but even looting, they can't even use it to develop the nation. So what I'm asking is that even when Africa have, because it's evident that we have even great people with great wisdom, with natural wisdom that God has given, that can make impact in the world if there is a support from the government. And we also have the materials, to what it takes to bring these things out. Then is our problem a great part of our problem from the government, or what is really the problem in Africa? Why Africa cannot pick up the role? Why Africa, or is it that they don't understand that we have something that can make us rise up? What is the problem? Or is it there is a pressure? Someone is pressurizing them somewhere not to do something. So I can't really understand. I don't know if you can throw more light, if you have any idea.
Thank you, Sister Ada, for this question. This question has a very long answer, but let me shorten it. Selfishness is something that kills a whole race of people. Selfishness. And then another thing that kills is what we call it. How do you call it? I've forgotten. There are three main things that kills people. Now I'm going to say it. Now, what happens is that among every 1 million to 2 million people, there exists a leader. Listen, according to earthly human statistics, among every 1 million to 2 million people, there exists a leader. That leader can be an inventor, a creator of something, a fighter, or he is a great person that God has released him to save the generation or to save the people. Now, if these people are born into the community and they don't have support in what they do, these people will die out and the rest will suffer. Now, what happens is that our African leaders, because of corruption, many people are dying because of their attitude, of corruptive attitude. Now, so what Africans have to learn is that Christians must enter into politics. Listen, I'm going to explain to you. Christians must enter into politics because we Christians sometimes think, or most African Christians think that because we are Christians, so we have been outlaid or bounded from politics. Because we don't want to be corrupt, we don't want to what? No. Politics came out of kingship. It was God who instituted kingship, and politics came out of kingship. So if Christians were leading our nations in those days, in Israel, if you are not a Christian, you cannot be a king. If you're not a servant of God, you cannot be a king. Now, if Christians are now getting out of kingship or of modern politics, then we are giving chance to Satan and his colleagues to rule us. This is where that they deny the help that they should give the youth. So what you have to do is, although your parents cannot help you, the community cannot help you, but the state, had it been in the hands of God, led by a Christian, he will have installed money, or he will have invested money for the youth with brilliancy to learn for the sake of the nation and for the prosperity of the nation. So what we should do is, although selfishness, I'm coming to talk about selfishness as well. Selfishness is something that kills Africa, because my son is not brilliant and somebody's son, but I'm a rich man. Instead of me to support that small guy who is now showing up with some sort of brilliancy and quality, for him to grow to be a valuable object or a valuable key for our nation, I'll keep my money. I will not support him. But remember, let me give you one reference. This boy called Sergi Hijo, this boy that I talked about him now. This boy is born in US, in Texas. Now, do you know something? At he's at the age of 15, he has become a medical doctor who has invented another system of operation. And the state of Texas has contributed 31,000, the community in which he was born, $31,000 for him to study in the university. At the age of 15, a black boy. At the age of 15, a black boy, who the white people have contributed $31,000 for him to study more, because he's not up to the age that he should study that science, but he has invented, he has produced, he has come out with that qualities, and they see that the qualities are above the qualities expected, so they should support him. This is what African leaders should have done. This is what African leaders should have done. Do you want us to say that there are not small inventors in Africa? There are many, eh? There are many inventors in Africa, small boys, youth of 10 to 15 years, who can invent something. Instead of them to helping them to get to the laboratory or to get to the shops, whereby they can show up with more qualifications born in them, we ignore all these children. And these children will die out with misery and poverty. And the death of these children affect communities, affect people, affect population. That is why Africans are so. So Africans are not born to be poor. Because I said it, God will not bless the land and leave the people. When God cares, he curses the people, then the curses affect the land. The land has nothing to do with God. So if you have been blessed, then the land is blessed. So Africans have to be very, very careful in this, that these days, you have to enter into the politics and then show the qualities, the ideas that God used to uplift his nation, so that the leaders, being Christians, can now have the idea of helping those who need to be helped. So these children will come up with brilliancy and will come up with qualities that will be beneficial for our state in the near future. So why is it that there are many hunger in Africa? It is all due to all these people, all these things. Some people should have been farmers, great and big farmers, but they were not having help from the beginning. So because of them, millions are dying.
God bless you, sir. Thank you. God bless you, sir, for that wonderful explanation. Wow. We will really have enough time. You are going to come back again. I just have a last question before we invite the host. In case if you have some question, I just feel like asking you this question. You see, with what all that you have said, I just wish African politics, or even the youths all over the world, the Christians, can hearken onto the voice of your supplication and enter into politics, and even the ones in politics, they will really look back and realize that the work they are making for themselves is not taking them anywhere. When they die, it will not make any difference. Rather, they have to work for the community. That is why they have been voted in. They have to look onto the youth. So my last question is, because of the situation of Africa, as a whole, as a continent. Because of this situation, many youths that would have been vital to African continent, they have now concluded that going to Europe is the only option for them to, to be useful in life. They have now decided to run a personal race of how to survive, a personal survival. And maybe these people, these youth would have been, maybe they are people that God have deposited important things to, to enrich the land, to have to affect to impact on the continent. But yes, because of the situation of Africa, many of our youth, they enter road, some of them die in the desert, many die on the sea, many of them are jumping at this. The white people are making jest of African continent because our youth are desperately want to, go to abroad, no matter what it cost, no matter what the condition and the risk, because they have concluded within them that the only way they can, they can make it in life is only going to Europe, and that take away the dream of realizing themselves with skill that can help the community, with skill that can really build a way that can extend to the generation. So I want you to just direct our program say Arise Africa, and social science saying that a community without culture does not exist, and a community without citizens does not exist. So our youth are our citizens, and our heritage are our culture. So if this youth migrate and scatter all over the world, we may not exist even while we are existing, and it will be difficult for Africa arise. So what word do you have for our desperate youths, our desperate children who scatter all over the world, who have been out of desperation, even put hand in things that they don't supposed to do? What do you have for them as a father?
Thank you, Sister Ada. Now let me say something. Migration is something that is being caused by something. Migration is caused by hardships. So, what sort of hardships has caused that migration? That is the hardship that we have to tackle, so that we can do away with that hardships, so that there will be no migration. Now let me say another thing. Europeans should have been the people who should migrate to Africa. It is not we who should migrate to Europe, but it is they should migrate to Africa, because they came for something in Africa. As now they are coming in Africa, they are entering into many African countries. They are entering there because there are something valuable for them that they need on your land. So they will be your friend at this moment. Why is China investing more money in Africa? All because of all those things. So it is they should migrate to Africa, but it should not be we who should migrate outside. But because of only one thing, because we didn't use our minerals to create work for ourselves, we are not going out, because we have sold our raw materials, our minerals to them. So we have sold our work as them to them. Because one mineral can create about 5 different types of works. So if this mineral is sold, it is sold out with those 5 different types of work. Okay, now they say they should not export timber. If you export your timber, it will affect your own weather. It will affect your own economy. It is affecting carpenters. It is affecting construction. It is affecting many things because of the only one timber that you sold. So imagine that timber is used in Africa as they use it in Europe. We are creating work for ourselves in Africa. We are maintaining our carpenters in Africa. They will not run and cross the desert and die on it. So only one thing sold out have gone with a lot of works. That is why I'm saying that we should stop selling our minerals, our raw materials, because let me say something. In the olden days, when there were no minerals, we were living. French people don't have minerals. Spanish people don't have minerals. British people don't have minerals. But do they migrate as we are migrating? So what is happening? They have the idea of creativity. That idea of creativity is the little thing that they learned, they improve on it. Those who become doctors will become doctors. Those who become engineers become engineers. So the little even iron that they have on their land, or the little thing that they buy from Africa, they utilize it more than necessary. Let me touch petroleum. How many things are sought out from petroleum? The last extract of petroleum is bitumen, that is used to make roads. The coal tar that is used to make roads. So imagine that the petroleum is not exported to them. Why would they buy their why would they buy their coal tar? How would they construct their roads? Now, what we have done is we don't have to give out all that we have to them, but we have to learn how to use them. By learning how to use them, we create work for ourselves, and our youth will stay on our land, so that we shall not be crossing the desert, we shall not be crossing the Mediterranean, we shall not be dying like animals as they are classifying us. But when we begin to use it for ourselves, the world will now see that Africans are using their intelligence. Let me say something about cobalt. If Zaire, if Congo alone stopped to produce cobalt, Congo produces 80% of cobalt production in the world, and cobalt is used to fabricate mobile telephones, radios, TV sets, televisions, and everything that use hypersensitivity in the area views. Now, imagine Congo stops to produce 80% of his cobalt. What would the world be? The world cannot produce television and this and that. Now, instead of this, that the Congolese use these things to produce on their own land, or at least they sell half, and they produce half of the telephone on their own land. They are selling everything. So in other words, you are selling your job to them. The work that your youth should do, you are selling to them. So remember that God gave you the minerals for you to use, not to sell. Americans do not sell their petroleum. Why? They are maintaining it. They need it. And even they need more. So all that we have to do is we have to maintain what you have. Use it on our land. That is all.
Thank you. Please don't forget to direct word to our youths who are, in diaspora, our youths in diaspora, Africans in diaspora, who are, are the ones who are still even struggling to, to come over to Europe. Please, I want you to just give a piece of word to them, because we need Africa to rise. We need Africa to rise again. We need Africa to regain back its own identity, its own greatness. We need to make Africa what God has made it from the beginning. What word, please, do you have from them in just 2 seconds, because we are fast spending our time.
Okay, thank you. My last word that I will give to every youth, every African diaspora who is outside their nation, is that whosoever crosses his boundary, whosoever goes out of his country, should have in mind that I'm going to learn something and then come back to help and build my own nation. Anyone who has in mind that I'm going to find money will make a mistake, because you can waste that money. But if you go to acquire some knowledge, wisdom, you have it. But if you go to acquire some knowledge that you can use it on your own land, that is better. So what I am advising all Ghanaians, all Nigerians, all Africans, all other Africans here, from Egypt up to South Africa, is let us learn something and then go back to rebuild our country. Let us learn something and then go back to lift up our country. Our country values a lot. But if you don't have to uplift it, it will fall. And we shall be called fools, but we are not fools. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you, Mr. Evans Nelson from Ghana, the president of Ghana Union in Valencia, Spain. It is a great privilege having you in this platform, Kingdom Radio 94.9 FM. Remember, we are still on our program, Arise Africa, and today we have just spoken on the topic that says Africa, land of diverse people and utility. And if you have followed us, you will see that it has been a great day, a wonderful day, a day of revelation, because we have learned a lot from our special guest. And don't worry, because if you have not watched it from the beginning, you can still go to our YouTube Kingdom Radio 94.9 FM and watch the full program. You are going to be blessed. You can also go to our Facebook page where we are streaming live now and every Saturday by 3 p.m. at Kingdom Radio 94.9 FM. You can also follow us on Instagram, Kingdom Radio 94.9 FM. Our special guest, Mr. Evans, we are going to invite him more to teach us more, to take us more deep inside Africa, because we need to know our value. We need to renew our qualities and virtues. We need to know who we are so that we can be, because there is a saying in Igbo language that if a child grows up and did not ask what kills the father, there is a probability that what kills the father might kill the child. So we Africans, we need to know our roots. We need to know our history. We need to know our quality so that we know where we will pick our country back again, because we want Africa to rise again. We want African continent to take back its identity. And this is what we are doing in Arise Africa with the host, Pastor Chris Abix, who gives us this opportunity to realize this dream on this platform, Kingdom Radio 94.9 FM. I give you, Pastor Chris, please, if you have questions for our guest today. God bless you, sir.
God bless you.
Well, thank you so much, Minister Evans. We appreciate your time, because we know that it's not easy to bring you here. I promise you I have so many questions, but I do believe that those questions I have for you, I'm going to keep it for next time, because you know the problem we have in Africa is so huge. We have heard what you said, and I do believe whoever have ears, let him hear. In this case, what we are looking for is a solution on how we can be useful to the whole world. We have been useful to the whole world by giving them what God have deposited in our nation, which is our raw materials. But I still do believe that we must love our nations. We must love our nation, because one thing I see there is that there is no love. Our leaders, our fathers, who are supposed to be our mentors, are not showing us good example. They are selling our country out, and when they sell this country out, in the future we will have no more. Africa will disappear on the planet Earth. So, man of God, I thank you so much. It's not what your country can do for you, it's what you can do for your nation and for your country. I thank you so much. God bless you, Minister Eva. Thank you so much, Ada Jesus. I do believe that you have to invite him for a proper roundtable discussion so that we can go deep, because if we don't bring the principle, these keys, there won't be solution.
Thank you.
These are the keys
Thank you,
the
Pastor.
are applying. Yeah. God bless you.
God bless you, Pastor.
God bless.
Thank you, sir. God bless you, sir, for this program. Thank you, all viewers, for watching us. Don't forget, I am your daughter, your sister, Minister Ada Jesus, still under Arise Africa. God bless you, and remember to join us next week at this same time in the same platform, Kingdom Radio 94.9 FM, and see you next week.
Thank you.
Kingdom Radio.
Yeah.